The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
The aftermath of every social revolution brings about change. Cultural norms and landmarks shift as our minds and hearts expand beyond the familiar. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose in the land of the living. This is our time to renew, revive, and restore the hope lost to the busyness of life. This is our time to dig again and rebuild from the storms of our past on a solid footing that holds. Welcome to The Foundation.
The Foundation.
The Foundation of Hearts Grants is brought to you by Alive, Bone for Bones, Burger King, Commonwealth Bank, Da Vinci Printing Innovators, ESC Distributors Limited, Grand Bahama News, the IAAF, World Relays Bahamas, Marco's Pizza, and the National Insurance Board.
The Foundation. The Foundation. 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 The Foundation. The Foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio, Howard Grant in your company, The Foundation. It is a glorious Friday afternoon. Bim, warm and easy. Someone tells me, Howard, I like why you stop playing? It's a Friday evening. I will play it today to make sure you guys are in the mood for the weekend coming up, guys. I hope you are going well and doing okay out there. I'm grateful to be here in this space and talk about these things. Today is April 4th? April 5th, 2024. Happy birthday to all those persons celebrating birthday. If you're out there celebrating a birthday, I said happy birthday to you. I pray that the Father continues to be able to bless you and lift you up as you move forward, upward, onward towards your goals and in being able to embody the purpose that you've been called to here in this life. I'm grateful to be in your company today as we continue to be able to chop down these things. We're going to talk deep today. Hey, I got some information yesterday. I wanted to kind of rest on the table gently, very gently, gingerly. Let's say that. Gingerly. As we talk about those things. But before we do that, I got to shout out to my good, decent people over at AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. They got everything laid out for you. Make sure you go and check them out. If you are in the market for some insurance for your SDs, your jitneys, your taxis, or like I like to say, your leggies, whatever you are in the market for as it relates to insurance, make sure you go check out AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. They are located number 407 Blue Hill Road South. They got everything laid out for you. Actually, my very good friend, Ethric Bow, he can be able to take good care of you in those particular spaces, or give them a call at 341-AFS. 341-1-AFS. 341-1-AFS. They can take good care of you in those particular steads. And they're open on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. On Saturdays, so it's from Monday to Saturday. Monday to Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. They got everything available for you. I'm grateful to be in your company right now as we chop these things down and be able to dive into this. Make sure you pick up your Guardian newspaper. There's a lot going on beyond the fact that C.A. Nuri out here wilding out on his Facebook page. My God, there's a lot going on. Make sure you pick up the Guardian newspaper. You can be able to see exactly what's what. Government to move on the cannabis bill. This is peculiar for me. This is peculiar. Not that the government has a desire to be able to move towards these things, but it seems as though there is some last minute touches before an inevitability. All right. There is an air about these particular things. There feels as though that there is a transition, as though we are poised for transition. I don't know whether or not that's only from a political standpoint that we're feeling these things or we're looking at these things, but as I read and I ingest information, I say to myself, is this the time? Is this the time? Talk to me. Is this the time for change, for things to happen? Are we making these significant moves? There's a lot happening out here. As we continue to be able to talk about these things, I want you guys to be able to join me in conversation today. Just as my very good friend Garth Roseborough is in the studio with me today. Garth, say good afternoon to the people out there.
Well, it's a Friday. It's a pretty awesome and beautiful day out there. Howard, of course,
Getting hot.
I was on the beach just a while ago in a discussion we will share today on the foundation. So the callers, you prepare yourself to call in. This show should be quite interesting.
I think it is.
The discussions on the beach was interesting this morning, but just to put a little smile on your face, I was knocking one or two dominoes, and one of the fellas, his phone rang. And the lady said on the phone, she said, he just left the house. And of course, I didn't know Joe was a Jamaican, but Joe got out of there on a Friday. Now, who house he going to, I don't know.
What are you talking about? Who just left the house?
But man, Phoebe is a God-fearing people, man.
Jesus.
But the weekend has started is what I'm trying to say to you. So listen, people. We got to do better in the country. Eh? We gotta stay out of people's business. We got to manage ourselves better.
We try.
We need to have a talk with our Savior, with whoever your God is. And we don't need a weekend like we had last weekend or the weekend before. We need to put smiles on the faces of everyone in a decent way. And so me joining Howard Grant here at the foundation today, we're going to try to be as decent as possible today.
We could try.
To give you something to talk about, something to smile about, something to stay home and discuss with your family. And this is no time to go out, gallivanting or hanging out with the boys under the tree. Let's have a peaceful weekend this weekend. Can we do that, Bahamas?
Somebody then texted me. I don't know, you're wild enough right now.
Yeah, leave people things alone.
323-623-2, 325-431-632-54259, anywhere from the Family of Islands, 242-300-5720. Or you can just hit me up, 422-4796, live and in full effect. We're out here being able to dive into these things. Right now, on the docket of indecency. Let's see if we can, yeah, this is a docket of indecency today, right? On the docket of indecency, information came to me yesterday that we may be in the market for an early election.
I got the same.
Hold on now. This is heavy what I'm saying to you.
I know, but you called me.
We have speculated on this for a long time.
But you called me.
We have already indicated, based upon some information that came to the forefront and just mere calculation. All this is just regular maths. There's no trigonometry in this. There's no sine or cosine or tangent in this. This is just regular mathematics.
Okay.
And we looked at it and indicated that the PLP does not have the gas. Or in the words of my good friend, Mr. Scott, the electricity to electrify a mosquito. They don't have the electricity and the fortitude to go the whole term.
I know why.
Not if they won't win.
I know why you're doing this. I know why.
I'm decent, sir.
No, I know why.
I'm just trying to fix this docket.
Because you see, the issue here is that Christmas is 8 months away, so you can be naughty now. You ain't trying to be nice.
You think I can still end up on a nice list?
That's what you're trying to do.
My God, let's push the naughty
But
away.
I'll say this to you. You called me yesterday, and you mentioned that to me, and we chuckled about it because we discussed this before. But I went out last night.
The sources I got it from was too strong for me. That's why I had to call you.
No, I'm going to say something to you.
Praise Jesus, let me hear it.
I went out last night to do a favor for somebody, and I decided to visit somebody else strong in the PLP camp.
Talk to me.
And the
This
person
is exciting.
said
I
to
see
me,
you rubbing your hands,
she
sir.
said, he said, you're my brother. I said, yes, I'm a brother of yours. He said, well, I love you. I said, yeah, thank you. He said, man, we're going to early election, right? I said, Jesus, Lord, help me.
And you just heard it.
But you
So
told
where
me
two
early
or
that
three
day.
are gathered, my God. Two is the number of confirmation, sir.
So this morning when I went on the beach,
My God.
of course, there's a very strong PLP support out there, and he started to rant on about all the great things that they're doing with the family islands and airports, and they're going to be paving roads, and Grand Bahamas about to spark.
Sound eerily like a campaign.
And the other person who is anti-PLP hung his head down and said, Jesus, God, we don't stand a chance. We just don't stand a chance. And then I walk into The Guardian. We're here in Oaksfield, where we have The Guardian newspaper. I hope everyone has a copy like Howard would say. And I pick up the copy of The Guardian, and it says, government to move on cannabis bills.
And you know
I said it is finished.
it's done.
It's finished.
You know it. This ain't something that they will have a conversation on.
So are we going to have a democratic election, or is this simply?
It's
just
always
a pushover?
democracy. I'm going to say that, I asked Michael Pintard when he sat with me last week.
I liked his
asked
interview.
him,
I liked his interview.
wasn't it good?
I loved his interview.
I
think
didn't hear. I never heard him in that
He
form.
sounded so positioned, But
I get
you
cussed for
see-
him though. Can
no,
I say this to you? I got
No, it's
a
fine to be cussed
significant
for him.
telephone call. I got a telephone call that says Michael Pintard was incorrect. The Free National Movement had several significant. They went to conventions almost 3 times within the space when Minnis was in this particular capacity. When he went the first time, and then Loretta took him back, and they went back again to ensure that he was solidified in this position. When Pintard indicated that the Free National, and this is just based upon our conversation and the information that I received. If you're out here and you're only listening to politics and not necessarily an observer and following these things, then you'll just say, oh, Jesus, Michael Pintard said this, this, and this, but not understanding that from a mathematical standpoint, he must mean Hubert Alexander Ingram. During his particular stint, there was a long time without a convention. And it was a necessity for a convention in many instances because he had already garnered the support significantly of the people, and he wanted to be able to carry out the mandate for the country. This was during his time, Hubert Ingram's time. Hubert Minnis, it feel like he was going to a convention every 18 months. You understand what I'm saying? So for persons to call and put me to work for that, it obviously means that you wasn't necessarily paying attention to exactly what was happening over our politics over the past 10, 15, 20 years. So let's just be very clear about that, right? Pintard's, I thought his interview was very good.
I actually listened to it. I actually tuned in.
I thought it was a very good interview.
And it was very solid.
He asked for you,
He probably did. But you see, listen to,
He said, bring your co-host too.
let me send this message to Michael Pintard.
Indecency. Let's be decent. Go ahead.
No. See, I am going to be the best friend I could be to you.
My
but
God.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to deceive you. I'm not going to chum you up like I chum snappers and groupers and red snapper. I'm not going to make you feel comfortable if you are the leader. I'm not going to do that. What I want to do is challenge you to be the best that you can be. That's all I do. I never pull anyone down. I'm not here to ride you or to bride you or to do anything else to you. I am here to encourage you as a Bahamian to be the best that you can be. In me so doing, I may sound negative, but I'm simply sounding an alarm to you that all is not well. Now I'm going around the country, and when I see a statement from the Nassau Guardian's edition today, government to move on cannabis bills, now you can understand why I say to you that your leadership is weak. I complimented you on being a member of parliament for Marco City and Grand Bahama. I complimented you for that. You're a great member of parliament for your constituency. Praise God for you. But when it comes to national leadership and dealing with the progressive liberal party, my friend, either you're going to bring it or you're going to ask someone else to sing it. But my friend, you cannot lay back in a lazy chair and believe that just by speaking that you're going to be successful.
I
It's
don't
not
think
going
that's
to
what
work.
he's doing, though. Let me say this. I won't be decent because you and I put him to work significantly. And
What work you talking about?
we put him to work in terms of his capability and his steadfast nature in ensuring that he can galvanize the support of his party to be able to get the F&M on track that we know the F&M to be. We
Have
put
you-
him to work for
You
that.
you have felt it?
What?
The effects of that?
No, see, what I've come to an understanding, this is just me now, this is me. I have observed him, and we cannot take away his intellectual fortitude and capability. This man is a smart man. He's a sharp man, he's an articulate man, he's an insightful man. He's rose through the ranks of the Free National Movement significantly to critical acclaim, national acclaim, and everyone knows him through these particular steps. So there is an expectation that he takes these particular steps and move towards this. Okay, that's fine. What I have not seen from him is galvanizing the support of the Free National Movement to be behind him wholeheartedly. And that doesn't take away the fact, like I said to him in his face, we didn't even talk straight up, right? And you heard it. The information that I received indicates that there has been 75 to 80% of the council that supports him now. Shoot straight. We don't vote for prime ministers in this country. We vote for political organizations who are led by certain persons. the persons in the Free National Movement and the persons in the PLPs, that's meritorious council members, stalwart council, so forth and so on, they identify leadership, and that leadership is placed to the country, presented to the country. Okay, so what I understand is that Michael Pintard enjoys 75 to 80% of the voting council of the Free National Movement right now. And despite the fact that he's received this sort of accolades very quietly from strategic members who have been speaking to in the Free National Movement, I still don't see that galvanized support to move behind one concrete vision to present to the Bahamian people. Now, what he did when he sat with me was unravel these concepts and ideas that he had to move the country forward. I was extremely impressed. I've always been impressed with him, but for him to be able to come here, we was in row and he didn't fight me, none of these things, he just put it on the table. And I thought that was extremely impressive. I can't fight him for that. Now, I don't know whether or not that will translate to the national leadership that the country, because he hasn't been, his testing now is internal.
All the talking you just did, you went in a whole wilderness experience and came right back to Egypt to say what I'm saying to you, man.
But his testing is external. His test. Okay, so there's two sides to this thing in politics. There's two sides to this thing.
Identify.
There's internal and external.
Thank you very much.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
From an internal standpoint, let's take Prime Minister Brave Davis. From an internal standpoint, at the convention before last, they pushed two conventions before this. They pushed significant weight behind Brave Davis. If you remember, I was at the other station. There were members from the FNM, from the PLP, who didn't have any political affiliation, all coming on the radio show to talk about their support and how Brave Davis is the best thing since sliced bread.
And I was there too.
You remember this?
Yeah, I sat with
Okay,
you.
so they talked significantly about the fact that Brave Davis is the best man, he's the man for this, so forth and so on. We heard about a conversation that says, we pull Brave and say, Brave, let us do this thing right in this time, and it'll be your time next time. This is the information that we received. Mm-hmm. Brave stepped back significantly. We saw him as deputy to Perry Christie's leadership role, and then the transition happened. But the fact of the matter is, Brave already received the significant, resounding support within his council. Pronounced.
Yeah, he was very highly respected.
Okay, see, he didn't have to fight internally.
No, he did not.
Nobody was going to bother with him no more, because he could have taken Perry Christie out from the two conventions before.
You know what?
But he decided to give grace, and he stepped back and watched these things happen. Brave's fight was an external fight, where people who didn't necessarily support the PLP or support him indicated that he couldn't travel, he couldn't this, he couldn't that. That was his fight. That's not Michael Pintard's fight. Michael Pintard's fight is from FNMs inside the FNM who represent this quote-unquote 25% that support something else or someone else that says Michael Pintard can't lead, Michael Pintard in this, Michael Pintard in that. Michael Pintard has a different fight.
Homeboy.
And we haven't even gotten to the external fight yet.
People like to talk about the homeboy, please. Just want to talk to you as
I'm not going to fight you. Go ahead.
This is what I'm saying to you. The former Prime Minister, Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis, was the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas from 2017 until the election of 2021. Yes? Mm-hmm. During that time as leader, there was a tumultuous time, insomuch that they were defeated at the polls and the Progressive Liberal Party won. Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis, as we would say honorably, sat down and allowed the party, or by way of its convention, to go into such process. They went to convention. Michael Pintard came out as the leader of the Free National Movement.
You're doing this an in-service, an injustice.
How so?
Let me tell you why. Let's be decent about this.
Okay, I'm listening.
Let's structure it accordingly.
I'm listening. I'm going through. I'll interrupt. Go ahead.
Hubert Alexander Ingram gave his blessing at the interim to Hubert Alexander Minnis.
Okay.
The entire party accepted this position.
Okay.
Minnis, on the other hand, mm-hmm. started to make some murmurings that spilled out into the public. Then he said that the Ingram era is over.
Okay.
That was lost in translation. A translation that ended up in many spaces that said error, ERROR, and ERA is two different things.
So which one are we talking
Now watch
about?
me. As a result of Minnis spilling out his particular position and trying to be able to forge this vision for the Free National Movement.
Oh, he didn't mean ERA. He meant
No, he-
ERROR.
However he meant it, it was left for interpretation socially. We had to interpret what he meant because he didn't give any clarification to it. He just said it. As a result of this murmuring that came from Minnis as he tried to be able to put together this vision for the Free National Movement, in comes an internal insurrection.
Okay, I'm listening.
When Loretta, in her particular capacity, indicated that we can't trust this man, and they put him to significant work. Okay, so let's just shoot straight.
Shoot straight. I'm waiting, you know.
Minnis and Pintard never enjoyed that. Pintard's transition to leadership was tumultuous. He never had a seamless move to leadership. There was an issue even going to convention that he should take on this position because Minnis was not relenting right off the top.
Okay,
And the pushback that he received indicates the significant push that he has right now. Let's just be decent with this.
power comes by way of strategy and comes by way of strength. However you want to position what you just said, at the end of the equation, Michael Pintard overcame and became the leader of the Free National Movement.
Of course.
How many former F&M members of parliament and cabinet ministers aspired to be the leader at the top of such party?
They can't even pronounce that. They can't make that kind of pronouncement.
But Michael,
That's quite aspirations.
but Michael Pintard, through time, through patience, through effort, through perseverance, made it to the top.
You's a party man.
No, you
You've
at
been
the
in
top.
party.
Yeah, but you're at the top.
No, let's just shoot straight. You've been in party before, and I've been in party. I never jump up and say, I want to be the chairman of the Free National Movement. Never. I thought about it. I thought that I could make a good chairman. I thought I was articulate. I thought I had good relationships.
You thought you wanted to be the chairman.
This is very quiet. I never said this to anyone.
Good.
Let's be
I'm
very
listening.
clear.
I'm listening.
I've never said this to anyone.
listening.
I've never said to anyone how I want to be the chairman.
I'm listening.
Never.
Go shoot straight.
I
Just
never
go
opened my
straight.
mouth to say this to no one.
Don't go around the bush.
Okay.
Go straight.
So quietly, you think of yourself and you assess yourself against certain things that you see come to the forefront. And then, like Hubert Ingram said, people will call you and say, you good at this, you know.
Or you believe that.
No. That's what people do.
You believe that.
Oh, no. You don't believe what people say. That's what people say. Now, you could be convinced or
Did-
try to convince yourself otherwise.
Did you become the chairman?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
I'm trying to get someplace with you. Watch me. Let me
Because,
get
man,
someplace.
I lost.
No. You don't be lost in the sauce. Get someplace.
Go ahead, then. Are you going to fight you on
Michael
this?
Pintard and no one else,
I'm listening.
no one can stand firm on their own two and say, I can be leader of the Free National Movement or I can be leader of the PLP. That doesn't happen in organizations. Organizations identify leadership internally. They say to you the significant power that is retained at that time, and the juggernauts say to you, you can do this, you can do that.
Okay.
I was called as a potential candidate that can lead and move towards leadership in the Free National Movement, as a chairman. I didn't say, you can't put yourself there. That's my point to you. Michael Pintard couldn't put himself there in his leadership capacity. He had to have a conversation
With who?
with leadership. And leadership ain't always the man sitting in the seat, by the way.
So give me the alternative to Michael Pintard.
There's no alternative.
Why is there no alternative? You shoot straight. I say I got to put you in this corner.
There's no alternative.
There was
At
no
the time-
alternative. So guess what?
At the time
Michael
that Michael
Pintard-
Pintard placed himself towards leadership in the Free National Movement, there are certain persons that actually vied for that leadership position or who was viewed as that leadership position.
were viewed.
Yes, they were viewed with the capacity of being able to take the party to the next level. One of those persons was Dwayne Sands.
Okay.
And former leadership would retain perpetual power within the organization, which is Hubert Alexander Ingram, stood up and said to, well, you know, as he wears Dwayne Sands paraphernalia in Elizabeth Estates. You remember this?
And Dwayne just lost, right? His seat, right?
Dwayne lost his
And
seat.
he lost his seat as a cabinet minister, right? Minister of Health, right?
He lost his
And you're
seat.
going to consider him for leadership of the national
That is
party.
why there was no consideration
Okay,
for
so
Dwayne
once
Sands.
again, let's go back to Egypt. Let's go back to Egypt. Michael Pintard persevered and became the leader based on positioning, based on strategy, based on strengths. They had no other choice. The closest thing to a choice in the Free National Movement was one Mr. Shannon Don Cartwright. The closest thing that came to it. And he sits now as deputy.
No, that wasn't the closest.
And who else is fit for leadership in there? Let me
this
see.
is
Out of the
before-
6 people,
hold
the
on,
7
this is
people,
before-
the
this is-
7 people sitting now in the House of Assembly. Give me the next person.
Okay, hold on now. This is before September 21 now.
No. I go in now, post-convention. Out of the 7 people sitting in the House of Assembly plus Dr. Dwayne Sands,
Let's clear
make
up
it
the
8.
conversation. Let's clear up the conversation. Consideration can't come post. Consideration has to be pre. Before the convention was set, you had to identify persons that be able to move to this position.
So give me 3
You need
persons.
seniority to be able to move. You need familiarity. You need strength, and you need this kind of capability that is teachable, trainable, coachable. This is what leadership is about.
Okay.
They have identified the men and women who can be able to move to that position, and you cannot say Shannon Don was the closest to that. Whilst he was very good, you cannot negate the fact that Adrian Gibson was still strong in the party. This is before all this malarkey.
Now, I didn't
You cannot
mention-
negate this.
I did not mention Adrian Gibson, and you know why.
But you can't take him off the table.
I have to.
No. You can't take him
Oh,
off the
Jesus,
table.
man.
You cannot take him off the table because this was the decision that was made before
My man.
all these things roll out.
The man.
He didn't. No one knew any of these things. These allegations were levied against him after September 2021.
Everybody in the church does not know we're going to use a GoFundMe, eh? You can't tell everybody everything, you know, eh?
You are wilding out, sir.
So Adrian Gibson, they know very well why. They ain't gonna call his name.
You are wilding out, sir. Ladies
Let's
and
just be
gentlemen,
honest.
let me take
Let's be
my first
transparent.
commercial break. Let me take a first commercial break. The lines are wide open. This man come to fight today. I didn't know what was in his back pocket. Gloves! He ready to fight. Let's do this. 96.9 FM radio, Howard Grant, the Foundation. Quick commercial break. Be right back after this.
The foundation.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport Convenience Stores, Western Bakery, DeGregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News sales representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything Grand Bahamian every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian.
Bring your family, bring your friends, bring your gal. Come witness history in the making at the 2024 World Athletic Relays Chase the Sun, Paradise to Paris, happening here in Nassau, Bahamas. Hundreds of the best runners from more than 40 countries will compete for their place in the 2024 Paris Olympics, May 4th and 5th at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Get your tickets early at worldrelaysbahamas24.org or at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium box office.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, the Foundation, live and in full effect, just chopping it down. We got some information over the weekend, over the past 24 to 36 hours, that indicates to us from significant persons within the PLP that we are going to an early election. Now, before we got this information, we sat here and had very clear conversations that the PLP couldn't take it to 2026. That by calculations, they would do better by losing 2 years to retain 8, as opposed to being able to live out this entire 5 years and don't have the proverbial political steam to take it to the end. The issue that the PLP is having right now is that there are indifference in the organization, which they don't want anyone to know about. The indifference that exists in the organization, there are a lot of persons calling who support the PLP that says that we haven't been taken care of. This is nothing that we hear normally from the PLP.
Boy.
Under Perry Christie's administration, these fellas was eaten. Under Perry Christie administration, under the former administration, these fellas was
That's
eaten.
how the PLP loses every time.
Right? The fellas need to eat.
Disgruntlement.
But I can be honest with you. The Free National Movement has had this. This is a historic issue within the Free National Movement. You understand? A great deal of those persons under the Free National Movement have not been finding opportunity and being able to get a couple of things done. And that's why they don't come out to vote.
You know what I'm going to say? And I'm going back to our discussion about the internal and the external. Possibly it is Michael Pintard's way of doing things, that he feels that he has to put his house in order before he goes outside in the yard. And you remember back in the day, they used to have the coconut branch and use it for a broom, and you sweep the yard till you could see all the patterns in the yard. In the front, you could almost eat off the ground outside. But what I'm going to say to Mr. Michael Pintard is that, in my estimation, the Free National Movement has a history of heroes, people that they look to like Cecil Wallace Whitfield, people, like Mr. Boswick himself, Henry Boswick, people like Papa. That's their house. To try to renovate that at this particular time isn't going to be an easy task. There are times when it's much more feasible and much more cost effective and much of a savings to demolish a house and rebuild it, simply from ground up, from the foundation. Right now, the yard is dirty, meaning that the reason why I chided Mr. Pintard so much, and I don't want to use the word chide, I should have said try to encourage him, is that I've never heard the horn sound for recruitment, for new blood, for a new generation to be invited to become a part of this Free National Movement. You are the royal opposition.
I like this conversation.
I see a generation of young people who have no political involvement, no political aspirations, and whatever the PLP or the FNM does, it doesn't matter to them any. For as far as they're concerned, it's not important. But it was up to Mr. Michael Pintard, in my estimation, to go and get these people. In the last election, we saw a whole number of people that did not vote, especially in that particular generation. You being an orator, you being intelligent, you being positioned, you being able to speak strongly with charisma, I would have thought you would have been the one to go out there and recruit these people and build a stronger FNM that has never been seen before. Papa had his time, he did extremely well. But you still have an opportunity to do even better. You're young, you're strong, you're vibrant, and you ain't so bad looking as a fella. Go out there and bring these young people to the polls. Go to the Parliamentary Register General Office and register to vote. I've never heard that clarion call. That is what I've been waiting for.
Registration is never a problem in this country.
Man, we had one
Almost
last time.
190,000 people registered to vote.
Yeah, but not everyone read, especially the younger generation,
Hold on.
man. The younger generation I'm
If
talking
you
about.
if you take as a beta test for what our expectations could be in the next general election, if you take the by-election that happened in West Grand Bahama, where people were added to the parliamentary registration and did not show up to vote.
Okay.
So people are going out to register, but they're not getting up to vote.
Are there people left that have not yet registered?
There's many people who haven't
So
registered.
go and get those people and encourage them.
Now let's do
to
this.
vote.
I won't touch this with you because I see a telephone call. Carlo, I coming to you right now. Let me just touch this for 2 seconds, right? Now, you said something about renovate, and then you said demolish. I didn't write that down.
Well, you hard, you know.
I had to write that
You're a
down.
hard Bahamian fellow.
It is virtually impossible.
Listening.
It is virtually impossible to renovate a house when the patriarch still lives. It is virtually impossible.
It was done before.
You know how it was done?
Tell me.
By being able to cast a vision for the necessity of fortifying, not renovate. You can't use the word renovate. You have to say fortify. Fortify is to support the plans, the concepts that exist here by being able to incorporate these new elements. Like we used to have cedar wood. Yeah, man, we could be able to use pressurized wood to do these things, and you fortify that. But we know that's renovation.
Okay, so let me say this to you then. The Free National Movement was built on one word, dissidence, yes? Mm-hmm. The dissident 8. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
The free PLP.
Whatever you want to call it. But they were dissident. You got to lose that, man. That's why you're still dissident. You dissident even amongst yourself.
But the spirit of dissidents continue to be able to reside with them. And they accept this.
Man, mash that up.
No.
Get rid of that.
They accept living with ghosts.
So the dissidence that you look at is a dissidence against the PLP, or is it a dissidence against yourself, or dissidence against everything else?
Their dissidence is against democracy and not being able to adhere to the Constitution. That was what the Free PLP was all about. That was what the Freedom Fighters was about. Aligning yourself with the Constitution and getting to this particular objective. They indicated that the PLP were not doing that. So they had to separate themselves. And in the midst of separating themselves, that dissidence never left them. If you look at any third-party organization, the majority of those persons who formed that organization had some affiliation with the Free National Movement. They've become dissident themselves. In the midst of dissidence, they have become dissident themselves.
Yes, and you got to kill that.
This is a lack of unification.
We need to end.
There is no way that, and I could get deep with you. There is no way that Michael Pintard could go there with the strength that exists and the juggernauts that exist in the Free National Movement and say, I come to break down all of this. They will break him down first.
Who's going to break him down?
The power that exists behind the scenes in the Free National Movement. Why? Because, no, Bala, this is where the chairs be. This is where these chairs is be. No. You're not going to move the fridge from here. This is how this place set up. The only time you could move things is when people die.
I can let that caller talk because I don't like that. I can let them call. Let them talk. They must be no better than us. Let them talk, and then I can come and talk.
Give me the numbers: 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the family of islands, 242-300-5720. Hit me up 422-4796. Call on the line. Go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, Howard and Don.
Hey, what's up, Anton? You right out the gate. What's happening with you?
Yeah, God, what's going on?
I'm here on a Friday, my friend. Still Friday.
Sorry, you come with some spirits inside you.
What I need baptism.
Howard.
Hey, what you say?
Baptize them by fire.
Baptize them by fire.
But that's all in the F&M.
Go, let me hear it. Let me hear it.
Look here, the former Prime Minister, the multi-serving former Prime Minister, considered to be a political genius in the country, certainly a juggernaut, Hubert Alexander Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
When God was trying to name the heroes in the F&M, Hubert Ingram is a fly-in. He's a PLP, and he's more PLP than Perry Christie, as he said, for his own mouth. So you got to go to some other name. And he also said to them, when he leaves the F&M, he will leave them in a voice position that he met them in. That was his end quote when leaving them. Okay? So you got to find some other names. Now, get into this conversation.
I don't know if I like that spirit, Anton. You know why? While you're on the line, Anton, I'm going to tell you why.
I finished, guys.
Go on.
But I'm listening if you want to engage.
No, go ahead. It's your
okay,
show.
Great. And so getting to what you all are talking about and what I've been trying to talk about over the last 2 weeks, the F&M is going to have a major problem going into the 2026 election. And I pray God we don't go to election before then. And
Anton, you know you're going to election before then. Stop it.
That's the line I continue to use, Howard.
You hope to.
And you have been in agreement with me that you pray to God we don't. But nonetheless, look, the Progressive Liberal Party has always been the party of the small man in this country. Okay, that is what the spirit of the Progressive Liberal Party, or that is where the spirit of the Progressive Liberal Party came out of the struggle of the minority, who happened to be the small man in this country.
I'm a small man, Anton, and I'm struggling.
Yes, hold on. I get it, God.
Okay,
I get it.
because I ain't seen no help yet.
Get into it, God.
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm getting to it.
Go ahead.
And that is still the mantra of the PLP today.
Mm-hmm.
However, we have a lot of work to do in that regard. That is why I say, that is why I continue to say, I pray to God we do not make the foolish decision and go to election before 2026.
Why?
We have a lot of work to do, guys. We still have a lot of ground to cover.
You trying to tell me a lot of people disgruntled?
Don't get no accident over this now. Hold on.
I'm not. Look here.
You trying to tell me that I'm the only one who feeling the pinch right now?
I am trying to say to you guys, we have to do a much better job, as I've been saying, for the last 2 years of distributing the wealth. But ultimately, as I've been saying, for the last 20 years, we have to do a much better job of distributing the wealth in this country. We have to do a much better job in breaking down the status quo in this country. We have to do a much better job of creating the next generation of multi-millionaires, which we have not even fathomed. We haven't even begun doing. This administration, we have a lot of work to do. Once we can get on the right, or back on the right track, after this fiscal budget coming up, 2024, 2025.
This sounds eerily familiar, Anton.
And it's going to take
next time.
It's going to take some time for the money to move and for the people to feel the movement of the money. So it ain't going to be 6 months. It could be at least a year.
Anton.
Okay? So that puts us in 2025, as a matter of fact.
Anton.
Anytime after that,
you can't make
going into 2026,
you can't make it, Anton.
we would be in a much better position.
Anton.
Much better.
Anton, hold on. You can't make it. First and foremost, we don't have the physical capacity, the physical financial capacity for you to be able to ensure that you can be able to get done. Now, if the PLP came in with a concept and idea that says 80% for the people, 20% for the PLP supporters, we would have been in a better position. We could have been in a better position. Every economic layout from economists around the world indicate that we are on the cusp of something bigger than 2008. We are on the cusp of a significant bubble bursting financially and otherwise. Every economic model that we've looked at that indicates that we're going to be in a hard time. As the PLP, as the government of the Bahamas rather, looks for money left, right, and center, trying to be able to adhere to whatever rules and regulations, concepts, and ideas so we can get a couple dollars, they know that 2025 is not promised to no man. So if they don't make their decision now, they could never make it to 2026.
Howard, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
I'm telling you what it is.
I can tell you why I rebuke
Anton,
you. I can tell you why I rebuke you.
Don't mix religion and politics, man. Leave Jesus out of this.
But this is what it is, Anton. We're telling you, but based upon the forecast that's happening.
Before you let me go.
Go ahead.
Before you let me go. Let me just say this to you, Howard. Before you all let me go, you and God. The PLP certainly has the fiscal room to maneuver. We have the fiscal room to maneuver. All we need, Howard, are the minds and the hearts aligned with the leader of the party, the Prime Minister of this nation, Philip Brave Davis, to do what is necessary, to take the necessary action, to act. It's almost like the laws on our books. We don't have a lot of problems in many areas with laws. We have a lot of problems with ensuring that those laws are carried out or acted on. We need the heart to align in the Parliament and in the Cabinet to ensure that the vision of the Prime Minister, the vision of the Deputy Prime Minister comes to fore. In particular, the heart of the Prime Minister. We have the fiscal headroom to make it happen.
We can talk more about this. Anton, I got to take this commercial break. I appreciate your telephone call, my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here having good conversations, just talking about what our expectations are from a political standpoint as we move further and further into, what I started off saying 2026, but what is the next general election? We got significant information. I want to hear your thoughts, your views, your opinions. I see your telephone calls. Please call me back at 1. We'll come right back and take those telephone calls. Quick commercial break, get to do is, and be right back after this.
Foundation. The foundation. Foundation.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport convenience stores, Western Bakery, DeGregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News sales representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything Grand Bahamian every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian.
Why settle for an ordinary burger when you can indulge in the new Farmhouse King at Burger King Nassau? Sink your teeth into 2 juicy flame-grilled beef patties piled high with crisp bacon, American cheese, crispy onions, a fried egg, and a spicy mayo sauce that adds bold flavor to every bite. Enjoy the new Farmhouse King as a combo with fries and a drink, or if you're feeling extra hungry, try the King's Feast, available exclusively at Burger King Nassau.
Bring your family, bring your friends, bring your gal. Come witness history in the making at the 2024 World Athletic Relays Chase the Sun, Paradise to Paris, happening here in Nassau, Bahamas. Hundreds of the best runners from more than 40 countries will compete for their place in the 2024 Paris Olympics, May 4th and 5th at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Get your tickets early at worldrelaysbahamas24.org or at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium box office.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Are you ready for the best of the best? Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group, Alpha Sound Promotion, and Guardian Radio presents the best of the best Rake and Script Explosion Concert. Mark your calendars for May 11th as Super Club Breezes grounds ignite with Bahamian talent featuring KB, Gino D, Funky D, Veronica Bishop, The Brylanders, Avi, Elon Moxie, and Shine 242.
They know me like raining.
Join the Falcons, Iron Store, Sylvie Pierre, Johnny Cake, Mama D, Nishi LS, Pat Ramis, Stevie S, and Shad Colley and the VIPs for an electrifying night of music and culture. Tickets are flying, so grab yours now. Available online at BahamaZTickets.com or swing by the Beauty Shack on Soldier Road and Carmichael Road. This is the event of the year. The best of the best Rake and Scrape Explosion at Breezes Resorts. Gates open at 6 p.m. Don't miss out on the Bahamian Magic.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Friday, April 5th, get ready for another exciting Fish Fry Friday. At Margaritaville, downtown Nassau, featuring the big band Visage and DJ Beats with the latest in soca, Bahamian, and old school jazz.
Everybody take a time. Come to party, I like y'all. Don't want no man.
$25 general admission, $55 buffet and party.
Doors open at 6:30 p.m., party until 11:30 p.m. That's April 5th, Fish Fry Friday. The stage has been moved, so you've got more dancing space.
Fish Fry Friday, April 5th at Margaritaville, downtown Nassau.
Parking at the point for only $10. See you at Fish Fry Friday, April 5th with the big band Visage.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. 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 The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, The Foundation. It is a beautiful Friday. If y'all would stop trying to murky the water, I think we could see the sun. Praise God.
Howard, it ain't murky.
Huh?
It ain't murky. You see, Howard, in 2000, 2011.
Let me tell the people who you are. Sitting with Garth Roseborough, ladies and gentlemen, right here. Go ahead.
Any call on the line? I want to interrupt.
Yeah,
you.
caller on the line.
Go ahead, man. Let the caller go first.
Let the caller go first.
Yes, sir.
Callers, you can give me a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, anywhere from the family of islands, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, good day. How you doing?
I'm good, man. What's happening?
Hey, question. We still have treason on our books, right?
If we still have...
Treason. Like...
On our law books.
Yeah.
Okay, so why the former prime minister didn't get hold for treason back in 1986, 1985, when he conspired against the late former prime minister Finland?
In which capacity? From within their political organization?
When he became a confidential informant for the FBI against Finland.
I'm gonna have to let you go. You're doing way too much on these people radio. You're talking about lawyers. You need to stop. All right? I don't know enough information on these particular facts to talk about these things. I know that we've seen over the course of time WikiLeaks information come to the forefront.
Yeah.
We've been reading that. Yeah. I know. But we dare not speak about that in this formal setting.
When you start talking like that, yeah.
When we dare not speak like that.
I live west.
Oh, talk to me.
I go home by the beach.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
And in the spirit of decency and order, we can still be able to execute.
My own business on that one.
Watch me. We can still execute a conversation that speaks very roundly to what our objective is without calling people names.
I ain't getting
Let's be decent.
But how would you know in 2000, no disrespect to the caller, but boy, I went a little deep. That's what you need an electric reel for, But I, in 2011, I remember sitting off of Faith Avenue, and if you knew my history, I was a potential candidate for the Progressive Liberal Party for Carmichael at the time. City of Gold, Gold Rush was my slogan. And I remember sitting on the porch of one of the PLP supporters. Huge house, had some...
City of Gold, that was your slogan and your...
City 2000.
City 2000.
That's where I got it from, City 2000. City of Gold, Gold was PLP. I said City of Gold, and the Gold Rush.
So the whole PLP take your slogan?
I started in the office of Royce High Lives in the company of...
You get any royalties for that?
I ain't getting nothing, man. I don't get nothing for these things. But anyhow, someone else can take the credit, run with it. That's how life goes. But I sat there with this PLP supporter, and I remember they were doing the road work throughout the whole island. And I have never felt so disheartened in my life. I felt like totally ignored as a citizen of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. They were digging up all the roads, all these Spanish people all over the place in the road project. I look for Bahamians to do the road work. I don't see no Bahamians, just a bunch of people from South America. And I'm like, what the heck is going on in this country? I felt bad. And so I put everything I had. I took thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, pumped it into a little small campaign. I was on the ground. I was working. And I said to myself, I don't want to see this FNM government ever again. I felt that bad. The next time I felt like that was yesterday. I feel totally ignored in this country right now. Period. As a citizen.
Despite all we would have gone through
all the good works and talks.
Despite everything we've been through with Menace.
I feel like we still suffer from COVID. We might as well stay locked up in our house.
You wilding out right now, sir.
No, we might as well stay locked up in the homes.
You're doing a lot.
There's one thing, when, like the caller said, to see middle-class people losing homes. And then, what's the difference? When we were in COVID-19, you couldn't come out to pay the mortgage, no how. But the banks were open, they were online. You feel handcuffed. You feel like someone just put your hands behind your back and told you to walk the plank. You know you're not going to survive this. This is the persons like myself who are not accustomed to the daily hustle. The daily hustle is... When we talk about the impoverished areas,
they call it the daily grind.
Yeah, every day they go out and they got to find $5, $6. You know what $6 means in this country now, right? That's a little small bag with the leaf. And I mean, they ask you for a little $5, $6. That's what they want. They ain't for no food. So when they see this headline in The Guardian talking about government to move on cannabis bill, man, them people ready to vote for the PLP now.
Yeah, but that's not for them.
I know. We know.
That's not for them.
We know. And you and I have no stakeholdership in this. You and I. We know this thing. So for me right now, I'm looking at the next 5-6 years of my life as a citizen of this country with the Progressive Liberal Party as my government, and I'm scared as hell right now.
Just heavy what you're doing.
A man like me.
Let me take a telephone call. Ladies and gentlemen, the lines are lit right up. Caller on the line, go ahead.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man. What's happening?
Look here, where y'all at so I can give you all the information, man. I can show all people, black and white.
I ain't talking stupidness, and I ain't trying to go so I'll get locked up or anything, but I need to show you all this information, man.
We'll come down to the
Information,
studio.
okay,
Come down to the studio. You know where we are, right in
No, I know where.
on
where.
Carter Street. On Carter Street, University Boulevard, right across the street from University of the Bahamas.
That's the corner in between the Kentucky and thing to go up in the bag, yeah?
Yeah, we right there.
Okay.
Caller on the line with us live. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller. You're on the line with us live.
Hey guys, hey Howard.
Hey, what's up, Jeff?
Right here, man. Very interesting conversation you're having today, and of course, very interesting callers previous to my call. You know, sad to say, and Garth, I am with you, because right now as it stands, you know, a lot of us have realized that the so-called middle class that we are accustomed to when we were growing up is no longer in this country. You talk about the PLP being a party for the small man. I've yet to see the small man really being elevated in this country in the manner. And I'm not talking about the one or two. I'm talking about our entire society that is still under siege financially in this country. There is no talks on how to empower, truly empower the average man on this pathway to move them from the poverty status where the majority of us who are supposed to be middle class, we are closer to the poverty line, to bring us back up to a status where we can be regarded as middle class in this country. Now, when you start to talk about progressiveness in that manner, I am all for you. We don't feel that on the ground today. Okay? In fact, with all these trips that have been done, with all of these boasting that has been done, the vibration has not been felt on this ground yet. So therefore, we don't just listen to the talk, you know. We look at the walk, and the walk does not match the talk. So we got to fix the system. But the only way it's going to be fixed is until the Bahamian people decide to take that blindfold off our eyes and actually accept things for what they are. Stop listening to these politicians' promises and listen and watch and look at what's happening on the ground. We have people over here complaining. And how would you move in some of the same circles I move in? So my words, and Garth, likewise. Let me tell you all something, yeah? The talk does not match the walk. At least back a few years ago, and I'm going to close on this, there was a conversation where the premise was to try and create 100 new millionaires from the ordinary citizens in this country within a 5-year period, starting within a 5-year period. And that was started, and that was brought about by one politician who's no longer on the political scene. This is 5-10 years later, and yet the average citizen out here has not been elevated to a point where they can live comfortably in this country between paying BPL bill and putting food on the table. That has not happened. So we need to stop deluding ourselves into believing that this so-called party that says it's a party for the small man, that is not so. And this is a shot across the bow. The people's eyes are open. We are not accepting any more rhetoric going forward. We want to see our people prosper in this country, and not just prosper by talking, but we want to feel it in our pockets. I'll close on that note. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you, my brother. I do appreciate your telephone call. Let me take a next caller. Caller on the line with us live. Go ahead. Caller on the line with us live. Go ahead. Next caller. Caller on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, gents. How you doing?
I'm good, man. What's happening?
All right. Howard, I have a concern, man. I was wondering if you and your guest could help me. Oh, by the way, y'all do make a good team, man. I like how he's get at you sometime, Howard.
I swear.
You know what I mean?
Honestly, God, he's get at me and under my skin and everything. But he's my boy. I'm not going to fight him.
I like how he spoke at you. Be good at
listen, you know you shouldn't poke the bears when you go in the soup. Praise God. But anyway, I'm not going to fight him.
Well, he must know what he's doing, man. He in the studio with you, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I say, you know what I mean? You guys make a good team on the radio, man.
I appreciate you,
for
man.
good listening. You know what I mean? Even though I ain't in politics like that, it still make for good listening.
Thank you, my brother.
All right, but what I wanted to say is I have a concern, man. It might be one that might be ill-founded, but I'm concerned. Do our elected officials have the authorization to actually sell our essential services without coming to us and having some type of what you call it, referendum or some type of thing? Because to me that just seems as if it's a bit extreme, you know, to be able to sell off
you talking about BPL?
nation's assets like that, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to know. If y'all could probably even look at it, because if that's the case, then all talk related to BPL and its privatization or rumors about its sale need to stop. That kind of way. And not only that, then BTC needs to be returned. But one question I need to ask you: have you all seen any real improvement in BTC's service since it's been privatized? Has it been worth it? Has it been worth the hype? Because if better service is one of the reasons why they're going to promote privatization of BPL, and the BTC is anything to compare to it, then that's not really an argument that they can really put forward. But like I say, Jans, I really appreciate it if we could really look into that, because that's not a joking matter. If they are not authorized, that's not a joking matter. All right, thank you very much, Jans. Like I say, you'll make a good team, man.
Thank you, my brother. I do appreciate your telephone call. Just to say one or two things before we go to another telephone call. Let's just shoot straight. The government of the Bahamas has a mandate to the Bahamian people to ensure that they can manage, maintain, and find progression, prosperity, and opportunity for the Bahamian people with these particular entities, whether that's BTC, whether that's BPL, whether that's water and sewage, whatever these particular entities are. They are provided as infrastructure to ensure that we can find comfort, progression, and growth. Now, in the event that they become overbearing and overburdened, they have a mandate to come to the Bahamian people and present them in the in our houses, in the House of Commons, in the House of Parliament, lower and the upper house, to talk about these things. We now have an inflection point. We have a responsibility as a society to be able to place our position at the forefront, whether that's through agitation, whether that's through civil disobedience, whatever that is, we can be able to discuss our position. That is why they come to the forefront with these. That is why they create select committees, so forth and so on. Now, the only reason in my mind that they would come to the forefront is because they realize that this is overwhelming. And something that we talked about on the break, for those persons who may not necessarily know. If you do a Google search of economic forecast that's happening over the next 5 to 10 years globally, you'll see that United States of America is on the cusp of a recession. And in the event that the United States of America is on this cusp of recession, this kind of a concept that exists out there that says that if America catch a cold, if America sneeze, we catch a cold, we will definitely have a bitter fever. Mm-hmm. The PLP, in my view, based upon their estimation, based upon their proximity and their exposure to these things, can see that. For them to be able to acquire more finances to forge the relationships necessary to be able to take our economy where we need to go and retain this quote-unquote comfort that we have here, they need a new mandate from the Bahamian people. They need a new mandate from the Bahamian people. The last administration introduced this concept the same way this one is fortifying that concept: public-private partnership. And the concept of public-private partnership is really saying to you that we don't have the wherewithal financially to execute the things that we want. We need your support. And the PLP going to this assumed early election only has to do with the fact that they're not finding what they need to ensure that they can be able to make it to 2026. This is my view. This is my assessment.
You know, it's interesting, Howard, and I appreciate you having me time and time again on the show. I love to share ideas and concepts and philosophies with individuals. I come to you with a humble spirit. And for all the time that I've been on this show, and I want to say this very loud and very clearly, that I've been a neutral person. I've done my best to be fair and to be neutral. Only now with people coming to me and saying to me, everywhere I go, Garth, we're listening to you and Howard on that show. We're listening to what you say, and we're listening for the time that you tell us which way to vote.
It's heavy what you say right now.
And I say to them, the time is not yet. I say to them...
For me, I don't think the time is ever.
But the time is not yet. And I'll say why not yet. It's because, well, that's what I said to them. That's the past tense. I said that to them. And the difficulty now is that I'm beginning to lean personally to another side. Because somehow I feel disrespected. I feel scoffed at. I had one or two people who are in the PLP solidly drive past my house, and the comment made me was, I pass your house, I see you trying to do a little something in the front there. Eh? What does that mean? I trying to do a little something. Here I am building one block at a time, minding my own business. I'm not jealous of you. I'm not envious of you. If you want a $200,000 car, my God, who doesn't? Get your car before you die. Hallelujah. You want a mansion? Go and get it. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not jealous of you. I'm happy for you. Thanks be to Almighty that you can get these things. Yes, you're a member of parliament. Yes, you're the prime minister. Yes, you're a cabinet minister. Yes, you're the leader of the royal opposition. Yes, you're a professor, school teacher, medical doctor, lawyer. Yes, you're a millionaire. You're a billionaire. Thank you that the creation has given that to you. We're all going to die one day, so they tell me. But today we laugh and we smile. We want to live together. We want to be happy. This is what the foundation is really all about. Joyfulness. But when you look at me as if to say, oh, you trying, boss, you're really trying to tip my scale.
I think your offense is because it's out of the mouth of an individual. But the
not individual.
No.
Collectively, there are a number of individuals.
Now, let me tell you this.
But I agree with you that it's not organizational.
Their attachment is to an organization. Now, let's be decent now. Let's be decent. Their attachment to the organization is the security. It is the stronghold, their rock, their fortress that they run into.
Yes.
Let's be decent.
Yes.
We know the word of God.
Yes.
When we find the shelter that we look for is in the rock that is our Lord. That's what we look for. That our sustaining position has nothing to do with their position.
But understand what I'm saying to you.
Because they know that you're not within the walls of the organization, within the rock, they could say that you are trying because they know that they could execute based upon their proximity.
Yes.
Now, in the next general election, if they find themselves on the other side of this, their language would also become, child, I need to try to do something like this also, because now their strength and fortitude has gone away.
Yes. But
so you can't fight them.
Here's the danger.
For their mindset.
Here's the danger. The danger is, and this is what the Progressive Liberal Party has always faulted on, there's certain people that you underestimate every time. There's certain people that you don't even comprehend how influential they are in society. You don't know the people who they touch that is called the swing voter or the non-voter. My God, I am at a point now, Howard, where I want to just repent.
You got to repent then.
Maybe return to the pulpit and go to every church I can find and preach a gospel of liberation that is not PLP.
Do it.
I can do it. I know I can. And I know people listen to me.
Let's do it then.
But what I'm saying, Howard, and I go back to the very first time you invited me at the other station and you invited me here on your show. I'm really beginning to become bothered at the fact of how disrespectful we have become as a people. The other day, I loaned somebody a sizable item, very expensive item. I told him, you can have it. You can use it. 1 year has passed. I said to the person, 1 year has passed. You promised to do some things. You didn't do it. But I'd like to have my item back now, please. He said, oh, you need it, eh? Truthfully, Bahamian people, I don't need it, but I want it back.
It's yours.
So I'm going to get it back. So the person says to me, you don't want to sell this. I says, well, the value is $10,000. I'll let you have it for $3,500. They said, I'll buy it. I said, okay, good. They said, that's a good deal. I said, good. They called me back and say, Howard, I invested $1,800 in there. What does that have to do with me? You were using it. I don't know what you did, what you had to fix, what you had to repair. That's not my business. I want $3,500. They says, well, I want it anyhow. I said, well, you can have it, $3,500. Then they called me back and said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring it back to you. I'm going to take off my items that cost $1,800 and put yours back on what was there before.
What he broke. Yeah. Let's be decent. Let's be decent. Now, I don't know why you bring that home. Bring it home.
No, I want to bring it home to you to talk about our friend, Hubert Alexander Ingram.
Okay, let me hear this.
Who was fortunate to be a prime minister in this country under a free national movement. Who says, you know what? When I leave you.
You're getting back to Antoine's. Okay.
When I leave you, I can leave it a worse situation than when I met you. And come on, my people, where's the gratitude?
I don't think that's what he meant, though.
I know, but that's what it sounds like.
No.
I said that's what it sounds like.
And that's the same issue that we
And
had
the
with Hubert
problem we
Alexander
have
Minnis.
in our organizations is that mentorship is not taking place in this country.
The same issue we had with Hubert Alexander Minnis when he said that the Ingram era is over, would never gave context to it. Now, when the prime minister came to the forefront and indicated that I'd leave your party, I'd leave you all off in the worst position that I met you, I don't think it's because it was a deliberate. Okay, so if your woman mad at you and she all rowing and she go in the china closet and break up everything. Hypothetically, we watch these things on TV.
I'm listening to you very carefully.
So you go down, you break up everything.
Okay, I'm listening to you very carefully.
Despite the fact that this actually was for you and I together, in the midst of your argument, in the midst of your anger, you seek to break up everything because of the position you're in. I don't think that that's what Hubert Ingram said. Hubert Ingram realized that the dependency that the Free National Movement had relentlessly on him, when he moved, that dependency would create a significant void. As a result of this void, now he knows that he's also a part of this. His issue is that he didn't identify the mentorship necessary to be able to build the next generation of the Free National Movement. He didn't.
I just said that, Howard.
He didn't.
I just said that.
And as a result of him leaving, it'll leave a void of leadership because he has not identified the next dispensation of leader. Quickly, as he was transitioning out, he dubbed and from shoulder to shoulder on Hubert Alexander Minnis.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
And as a result of that, that's the issue that we're in.
And who's
now.
he dubbing on now? Because he's still dubbing. He must be a Rastafari and he dubbing.
Well, let me take this before we get to the sands of conversations. See what I did
He's still dubbing.
You see what I did there? Let me take the telephone call. Caller, go ahead.
Howard and Garth, how are you?
A good man. How you doing?
I mean, Howard, let me first say that as Garth's old friend, I'm happy if he returns back to the post. That might be the best place for him. And he know who this is. So,
Yeah, we know who this is. Space go.
Oh,
tell
Jesus.
you, and he will also tell you that if you want to talk about marijuana, real marijuana legislation, you've called me and just break it out to come on the show.
Doc.
Okay.
Doc.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You understand.
Give me a break, my traveling doctor.
Listen to me.
My pharmacist.
Listen to me.
Uh-huh.
Historically, though, the guy brought up the concept of treason. I don't know about the spy and all the rest of that stuff, but I will say this. From the very first, Maya Angelou says this, that when somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time.
Wow.
The first time. Okay? Wow. The very first parliamentary act that Hubert Alexander Ingram did was to repeal the Immovable Properties Act.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that is the most blatant act of treason anybody has ever inflicted on the country. Because what he essentially did was he turned the next 3 generations of Bahamian citizens into perpetual renters and not owners.
Mm.
Okay? And if you go back and look at it, I dare you to do the research. International companies like Sotheby's and those who never set foot here had offices open in the weeks after election, before he changed the act. So they must have known something we didn't know. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that is the biggest disgraceful act anybody could ever do, and it's worthy of a firing squad. That's my take on that. Okay?
That's true.
And I don't back off of that from nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But let me say this too. You talked about this issue of walls and organization. The way the organizations are set up, combined with our form of government, our form of governance, our form of choosing governance,
Mm-hmm.
okay, creates a petri dish that only a dangerous virus can grow.
Mm.
Because what we do essentially with this parliamentary system that essentially you go to election and you vote for an MP, but what you're essentially doing is electing a prime minister. And there's no way for you to control that prime minister once he or she, and maybe one day we'll get a she, is in that position. You essentially elect a king every 5 years. And so the people who work for that king, see, when you work for a king, you move in the power of the king. That's why they could drive past God's house and talk about what
It's the truth.
Okay?
It's the truth.
But
What's the truth?
It's the truth.
What's the truth?
When they work for the king.
To fire the CEO. If the CEO of the country could be fired without me having to fire my middle manager, two things would happen. One, my middle manager would be accountable to me because he understands now that I'm his boss, really, and not the fella who could put him in cabinet. And two, they'd be much more concerned about how they move with stuff in the 5 years when they sit in the PM's office. And this is not to disparage the current PM. I mean, I'm talking about the system. The system itself creates a 5-year king.
Yeah.
Okay? In a country too small for things to move that way. It's too small. Okay?
I agree with you.
And they will tell you every time you bring this up, they'll say, oh, you guys are Americanized and blah, 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 and all this foolishness. But the fact of the matter is, you look at what's happening in America right now. Okay? You have the Speaker of the House who's a Republican who understands that with a split government, I gotta find some common ground with the Democrats. And even if Marjorie Green Taylor will make noise, I gotta figure this thing out so a bill come in next week. Okay? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so you get some at least incremental progress. For us, we dealing with the same stuff. I am 50 years old, and for the vast majority of my life, we've been complaining about BEC, now BPL. We've been complaining about Batelco, now BTC. And so to answer your question, the service has gotten no better. It's gotten worse. Okay? We've been complaining about the public health care system. We've been complaining about bad schools and overcrowded schools and not enough teachers. It's 50 years. I'm an independence baby. I born February 74. So I can't blame the Queen and the Bay Street Boys or nobody. We have been in control of this country my entire life, and guess what we have done? Right? With the exception of Finland pre-1987, we have had horrible prime minister after horrible prime minister after more horrible prime minister. Okay? And we've elected kings who only care about the people who are in their castle and not their kingdom. And if we don't change that system, 5 years from now, we can change out the color the king wears. We ain't gonna change nothing that's happening.
Wow.
And we have 50 years to prove that.
Wow.
50 years to prove it.
Thank you, my brother.
So until we go to something different, we just can play this 5-year dance, and God might as well come back to church on Sabbath.
Come to church.
I love a good thing.
Come to church. Praise God. Thank you very so much for your telephone call. Let me take the next telephone call. Caller on the line, go ahead. Go ahead, caller. Caller on the line, go ahead. All right, let's take a quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. We're here live and in full effect. Quick commercial break. The Foundation, we're going to be right back after this.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
We need to talk, and it's about something pretty important, your NIB contributions. For nearly 50 years, NIB contributions from hardworking Bahamians have supported families and individuals alike. But Bahamian families have changed. Families are having fewer children. This means less workers are entering the workforce and making contributions. And with Bahamian retirees living longer, pension payments have also increased. As a result, payouts have gone up, continuously exceeding contributions coming in, resulting in a deficit. That's why, starting on July 1st, 2024, both employers and employees will have to pay a little extra to sustain this national lifeline. The July 1st rate increase is our way of ensuring that NIB benefits are available for generations to come. We all have a role to play, and it starts with investing in tomorrow today with NIB.
Calling all Alive postpaid customers. Paying your postpaid bill in full this month could mean winning tickets to see Janet Jackson live at the Atlantis. That's right. Make your payment through the My Alive app, bealive.com, or any Alive location by April 23rd and be automatically entered. Winner will be announced on April 24th, so don't wait. Start paying for your chance to win. Alive, the perfect connection for everyone.
Contact Da Vinci Printing Innovators today for all your printing needs. Customized receipt books, NCR forms, invitations, event tickets, program booklets, business and ID cards, flyers, posters, and banners. There's scanning, printing, lamination, and binding services. Also, a variety of office supplies. No design, no problem. Dedicated graphic designers are ready to serve you. Da Vinci Printing Innovators, located in the Village Road Shopping Plaza. Stop in or call 677-2922 or browse services online at www.davinciprinting242.com, where printing is an art.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Calling all pizza lovers. Marco's Pizza just got hotter. Head into any Marco's location and try our new Hot Honey Magnifico Pizza, featuring our Old World pepperoni drizzled with Mike's Hot Honey. Available for a limited time only. Get a large Hot Honey and enjoy this sweet and savory goodness for only $18.50. Make the right choice and order one today at MarcosPizzaBahamas.com. No one makes a pizza quite like we do.
Bonneville Bones, established in 1970, is the leader in men's fashion in the Bahamas. We're conveniently located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza, and fully stocked with everything you need for all occasions. Our Harbor Bay location is one door north of Alive, with the black and white signage of Bonneville Boutique. Both locations are open from 10 to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Bonneville Bones and Bonneville Boutique, still the leader in men's fashion. Located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza.
The excitement, the fierce competition, the entertainment. On May 4th and 5th, our Bahamian athletes will compete with hundreds of the best from around the world to secure their spot in the Paris Olympics.
Gardner takes the title.
Come witness history as our athletes chase the sun from paradise to Paris at the 2024 World Athletic Relays. May 4th and 5th at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Get your tickets now at worldrelaysbahamas24.org or at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium box office.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, The Foundation, live and in full effect right here on Friday evening. Bim, you got to play that for me, producer. The Friday evening. The people didn't call me and say, oh, you stop playing the song. Hey, let's put it there and be able to do that. But let's have this kind of a clear conversation. I'm here with none other than Garth Roseborough. I see you called 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, anywhere from the family of islands, 242-300. 5720. Hit me up 422-4796. I see all that information's out there. So call on the line. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Hey, Garth and Howard.
Hey.
I had to call back after that last caller.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. That man was so profound. He made my hair stand up on edge.
My friend.
Everything that he spoke out of his mouth is so on point that, you know, Howard, to cost me to call the show 2 times, it speaks volumes.
I thought you drank some Anton's coffee.
Oh, no, I ain't drinking none of that coffee. You know, because basically the good thing about Antoine, though,
yes,
just to speak about him for a second,
also
over the past week, I've noticed, even if he had it in him, it finally came out. It came out from a nationalistic standpoint, not a party standpoint. Now, whatever's going on between him and the party, that don't have nothing to do with me.
But Jeff, Antoine comes from a very good family.
Well, even with that, I've done my little investigation on the Thompson family, and trust me, I have Thompson in my family as well.
Decent people.
Okay, so I'm not even knocking him, but the mere fact that he has come out and he has spoken passionately about nation and not party, that spoke volumes to me, and I must applaud him for showing the Bahamian people that it's not all about party, but it's all about what is best for this country and
it's all about people.
Yes.
Thank you,
man. Last caller, going back to him.
Yeah.
Man, he cost me for my car on the side of the road and with my hair standing up, and I'm here with my mouth wide open. Howard, I would suggest this to you. What a powerful combination of him and you in the studio. You need to invite him in the studio because what he said
I think
today
somebody just sent me his number.
was so powerful, that it rivets every nationalist in this country who cares about this country. It will rivet us to your station and to your program that particular day whenever he comes in studio. Okay. And I applaud him for speaking up for the rest of us.
Thank you, my brother.
Who believe in country, okay? Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks so much. All right, let's take the next telephone call. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, Howard?
All is well. What'd she say?
Good, man. Listen, just to the point, I just heard the gentleman. This thing with telco, the question has been asked about, is it better or not, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And he said no. I mean, just from a pure factual point of view, I would disagree with that because 20 years ago, I was paying like a mortgage for telco, right? For my right?
Where you was traveling? You had a postpaid phone then?
Oh, no. Hey,
landline?
You maybe just got a cell phone. I'm talking about cell phone in particular.
You talking about landline or you talking about postpaid cell phone?
Let me tell you the thing about the landline thing. I applied for a second landline, and I waited 15 years, and like the week after Telco was sold, they called me to say, do you still want that second line? So the service was not there. I mean, come on. We know Telco bloated with political appointees, right? And who wanted to pay for it? The mortgage, what they was billing me on my cell phone. I mean, I was paying $800 cell phone bill a month. And God may know about this, I don't know, but it was so. The point is, depending on where you're looking, maybe he had a contract or he had somebody there who was employed. They were getting paid well, and from that perspective, maybe the telco is not better. But from the John Q. Public point of view, listen, there's no comparison. Especially if I'm talking about my pocket in particular, right? We're talking about our pockets because that's what we're concerned about, right? I mean, all this talk about Telco was giving money to the national, to the treasury and all that. I'm concerned about that because I don't know what they do with that money. I'm concerned about what leaves my pocket. And it was a mortgage, all right? Now, from the point of view with this removable property, right? I must think that over the years, we would have one politician with some iota of decency to say, hey, man, that thing was bad. That thing was bad. Let's repair. I haven't heard that in the House of Assembly.
But no one has articulated that. No one has said that. And I don't know whether or not it's because of the affiliation associated with the immovable property and who's actually benefiting from it. Or I don't know whether or not it's because of naivete, that they don't know. Right?
Right.
So no one's touched it.
Credit them to knowing, Howard. I mean, maybe they're benefiting.
But I'll say, so for me, the Immovable Properties Act has the same weight and value of what the social expectation is of what the PLP should have done with the Bahamianization concept. They haven't done anything.
All right. So not one individual. So to me, this argument about the Immovable Property Act, I mean, this debate is argument. I understand about locals not being able to afford property, but at least in New Providence. But if you go to some family island or you want to go to a rural area, you got to go where your pockets fit.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that's where I am with that, man. But the Telco thing, I mean, in all honesty, people say it from a different perspective or from a political point, but there's no comparison to let me just tell you this. We would have been paying for WhatsApp if we were still under Telco.
Now, my good cousin, listen, I gotta let you go. I appreciate you telling the phone call, my brother. My good cousin, I think it was 2015. If I stand to be corrected, Leon Williams, my very good cousin. This is my daddy, them first cousin, right? It's my good cousin. And when he came out as the head, and he started to put this information out that indicated that WhatsApp should be paid for, so forth and so on. I thought it was peculiar. I thought it was peculiar, right? I thought it was peculiar. We talked about it a little bit. We didn't dive into those particular things. So for me, I want to say this. BTC has improved, but there's two elements, okay? From the consumer standpoint, there is efficiency, there's access, there is variety and there is speed. These are all things that we're concerned about. Not necessarily customer service, because people locally don't even call you no more. Let's shoot straight. Okay, if you are from BTC or whatnot, you get a foreign accent call you for these particular things. But if you can't fight that, this is the model that they've chosen. This is the model that they've actually moved towards. From a consumer standpoint, I believe that the consumer, based upon fiber, based upon accessibility, so forth and so on, could retain the position that they've seen an increase in BTC. Now, from a nationalistic standpoint, to be able to identify one of these elements, this national element that we've had such significant pride in, that offers opportunity for Bahamian people, then, I don't see that we have gained significantly from that kind of a partnership from an external standpoint. But we cannot fight that. This is the world that we're in now. This is the conversation that that is the current chairman of the PLP and Minister of Foreign Affairs has said to us when it had to do with when they were going to the Vatican, if you remember that. When politicians were going to the Vatican, and says that we have to align ourselves with global views, which was a very peculiar thing. Nonetheless, this is why, if you remember, this was Miles Monroe's initial fight with him, that we should not necessarily align ourselves with global views. We should stand firm in our sovereignty and make those decisions accordingly. But if our expectation is to be fed financially externally, we have to align ourselves with global views.
That is correct.
And if you're putting yourself in the position that you need to fix a problem, and the fella say, I could fix this problem for you, do these things right here and I can give you the money, we continue to fall to that.
Well, Howard, the issue in our world is that we have fewer leaders than we have followers. There are fewer messiahs than there are people who need to be saved. I want to go back in the full circles. I know you're about to read the text of those people who have texted Howard. He gave her the numbers. You're going to text them now. And
the lines live right up. I get 5
So I'll let you go.
So,
but I want to get back to a point here, Howard. You made a point about Hubert Alexander Ingram leaving a void. You used the word void, V-O-I-D, void.
Yes, it is a void.
The void is there. There's nothing you can do about a void. The void is in BTC. The void is in BPL. The void's all around us. But what fills a void is energy that is able to fill that void and supersede the size of the void. And so what I'm saying to you in a nutshell from the beginning of our show when we first started talking about the possibility of an early election is that Mr. Michael Pintard, as the leader of the Free National Movement, now has the opportunity to fill the void and supersede it. We have to get off this idea, Michael Pintard, that yes, Papa is a great man, but you can also be greater. If you cannot believe in a greater, then why are we even established? Well, this is what I'm saying to you.
He has to be greater. Greater works than these you should also do. That's a principle in life.
When I first came out, I said Michael Pintard is a weak leader. I didn't say that to demean him or to pull him down. I said that to him because I wanted to encourage him to be much stronger than he has ever been before. I need him to be the Superman that ignores what kryptonite is. That's all I'm asking him to do. Give us a fair chance as a people to become better. Because if the opposition is not strong enough to encourage the government to do better, then we'll continue to have more of the same. That's all I've been saying all this time. And I do understand that when I speak, I may not be philosophical enough to break it down for everyone to understand, but I try to drop hints everywhere that this is the case. And so now I'm going to say to you very, very clearly, I need certain individuals in this country to get off their backside and to push this country forward like we've never pushed before.
You watch. I listened to you through the course of our conversation. Caller, I come to you right now. Don't fight me. I listened to you through the course of our conversation. You started off saying that as a result, you haven't had this feeling, this emotion. You haven't had this kind of come to Jesus movement to make a determination since 2011.
That's correct.
And now, yesterday, as a result of this perpetual badgering from those people who support the government of the day, as you in your position that sit in neutrality seek to move forward, you are badgered by those people that support the party, this particular organization.
Because they feel as if our battle is over. But they don't understand the battle is just about to begin.
Simultaneously, you're saying that you're seeking to go elsewhere from a political standpoint and lend your support. You said in the midst of our conversation at one time, people saying, I'm just waiting on you to tell us which way to go. You said the time is not arrived as yet. You say that's what you say then. but obviously you're changing your position now.
Yes.
Where do you see there being a viable option if it's not with the government of the day?
The viable option is in us, the people. Like our previous caller, I wouldn't say that he's going to run politically, but look at his mindset. Look at his mind. Look at what he's able to communicate. Look at what he's able to do.
You're getting philosophical with me.
There are people out there, Howard, that the clarity. I said it to you earlier in the show, and I know you missed it. You missed out on this one. That Michael Pintard has to make the clarion call to call these people forward.
So this is where I won't go. This is where I won't go because the viability doesn't exist in one individual.
Correct.
It exists within an organization.
Yes.
You're saying to fortify the organization that you seek to support, which is the.
I ain't saying that.
I know you don't want to say the Free National Movement, but that's what you're saying, my brother. I didn't draw all this on the paper. This is what you're saying.
It's coming.
You need to stop.
The ruah.
It's the ruah.
The ruah, which is Hebrew for breath.
Yeah,
it's coming forth.
And the raw
Oh, the line is about to raw
is
in a minute.
also naked
it's
out here.
About to raw in a minute.
You're wilding out, sir. Let me take the next telephone call. Go ahead. Caller, go ahead. Next telephone call. Caller, go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Howard, how you doing?
All is well. Hey, what's up, Seattle?
Yeah, just a couple of quick points on the Removable Property Act. The PLP said in 2002 that they was going to change that, right? But during the term of Perry Glasson Christie used the opening in the Removable Property Act to sell and give away more property than every prime minister to date.
What you talking about? You talking about the property on West Bay Street of their 100 and something acres?
Things. You could start with the 10,000 acres that he gave away in marijuana. You could start with, in Andres. You could start with. I'm saying to you, they say things just like they said they'll take BTC back. You see anything back?
No.
First, let me say this: BTC now is old school. Anyone who understands technology understand that the reason why you're having a problem with BTC is that you're using 20th century technology in the 21st century world. When I opposed the sale of BTC, for most people who didn't stand with me, didn't understand, I was talking about having the infrastructural resources to build the new, not some data service. When you have a system, you replace the old with the new. But that's the conversation for the next day. The guy is right. You can't, in the same way, you should not have been able to sell BTC without a referendum. The same way, let me change that. You should not have been able to sell Telco, but they changed the name to BTC. And you can't sell Bahamas with power and light, you can't sell Bahamas electricity, but maybe you could sell BPL. But it doesn't change if you change the name, you need to have a referendum. That's the conversation we have. Now, we from the ghetto, right? We hang out in the ghetto. And what they say, when you lose your job and you got no money coming in, what you do? Sell dope. That's why they want to bring the
You are wilding out, sir. You did too much. Thank you for your telephone call. Go ahead quickly.
I'm simply saying this. We are in a new dispensation when the person asks for the new millionaires. We're in a point right now that how would they call something? They have something called a unicorn. In any professionals are telling you right now, you may see the first time you see in history a single person unicorn because of the advancement of technology and where we are. And I'm saying to you, the next government will make the new millionaires. The next government will rebuild the Bahamas under Michael Pintard. And I ask for intelligent engagement. And if you don't know how it's going to be done, ask me. I'll tell you.
Thank you, my brother. I do appreciate your telephone call. Let me read this text. It says, Hubert Ingram was our worst prime minister by far. Pintard will fill that void of continuing horrible leadership, reminiscent of times past. He's talking about Land Removal Act. Ingram got rid of. Facts about that, right? This is an analog concept. This is a text is coming through. A lot of persons actually texting me. Let me read a couple of these. So it says, suck my teeth, Anton isn't serious. He's crying now, but he wasn't crying for the past 3.5 years. Why is he crying now, though? He will be back at the feet of the party in 3 months before the election. This is a text is coming through. So it says, Howard, the traveling doctor makes plenty sense. Please bring him on for 2 hours. This text is coming through. Right? So it says, they called Hubert Ingram a strong man leader. That means that he's willing to go against his people. He is the one whom sold BTC also. This is a text that's coming through, right? Someone says, Howard, this Anton person can say whatever he wishes. Obviously, he is oblivious as to the many, many Bahamians who are hungry, homeless, and hurting in this country. I continue to say that the PLP looks out for their own. They encourage this attitude of nepotism, cronyism, and entitlement by association. They are going to be in for a rude awakening whenever the election is called. Bahamians don't usually vote for, they vote against. There are too many retired geriatric stalwarts who have been resurrected out of retirement and given prominent consultant jobs, while young, educated Bahamians have to leave the country to seek employment because they feel that there is no future here for them.
And Howard,
this is a lot that's
you'd be
said.
surprised that a person is PLP. It sounds like a PLP.
This is a lot that's being said.
And turning, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
This
it
is a lot
happens
that's being
every
said.
5 years.
That's a lot. And I could feel that because
It's on
as
the
a young
street.
person, I'm 40 now.
Yes.
I could be 43 this year, right? My oldest son is in college,
Mhm.
right? My oldest daughter, she's getting ready to graduate high school to go to college.
Wow.
And I got two little children behind them.
Jeez.
Right? And as I look at this, I realize that this system wasn't designed for me. I have geriatric men. I can use it just because
Yeah.
of text. I have geriatric juggernauts that call on me and say, would you want to go ZNS, man? They can take care of you. And they won't pay me pennies. Not in a bad way, just to shoot straight with you. They never view the fact that this is progression, this is growth, and just the fact that you have to live in this society. You can't afford to live in this society. I can't afford to be able to provide my children the opportunities that they seek, that I know that should be given to them to ensure that they could strengthen this society. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. Not by being able to take the handout that these fellas won't give you simply because they won't retain it. They won't give you something and then they won't get well, I gave you that job, why don't you bring something this week? And then they will ask me for all manner of construction paraphernalia, whether that's plywood, whether that's shingles, whatever that is. I can't live like that.
Well, Howard,
I got family to take care of. I can't live like that.
I want to say one thing about your programming, and I want to thank those people who have tuned in time and time again. You've supported the strengthening of truth. Howard, you understand very clearly, and you've put this forth to the people that for the foundation, and I'm going to say something about construction, you cannot, Howard Grant, cheat the foundation. It's impossible. Not if you want your building to stand.
There's no sustainability if you cheat the foundation.
So if you use
it will crumble in due time.
little cement, too little rock, too little wire, too little plastic or whatever you want to put on it.
Steel, if you ain't got no
you
steel.
ain't got no steel. If the
It will
ground
crumble.
itself is too porous, if you have only sand, all these are things that are against a good foundation. When you want to establish a foundation, when you want to establish a legacy, it has to be truthful. And so today, I want to thank you, Howard Grant, for inviting me again. I've done my best to be truthful. Today was a bit emotional for me. I'm beginning to feel the cries of the people all around. And I can only say to you, listen out very shortly, because I'm going to make my move. And I'm going to make sure we move to a better Bahamas.
To the F&M. That's what you said? You wilding out, sir.
The Ruah.
The Raw.
Hebrew. Ruah.
Ruah.
R-U-A-H.
Do we pronounce
Ruah.
it like we're English?
Ruah.
Ruah.
Breath of God.
Is that how we say it?
It comes from the soul.
This is too
from
much.
the spirit.
Let me read
Comes
one or
down
two more of these texts before we get to
Truth.
the It says, if Cooper and Davis think that they could win an early election, let them ring the bell. Menace will be smiling at them. This is the text is coming through. It says, good afternoon, Howard. People just go to register to get a voter's card. These people ain't voting. Right? It says, good afternoon, Howard. Great show and great question. The best replacement for the F&M leader would have been because no one wants menace or menace. I'm sure they mean menace. They actually spelled it menace. Anyway, no one wants menace or pink tart. You need to stop. Would have been Don Sanders. But that could never happen because he's passed on now. This is bananas.
That's a great tribute. It's a tribute.
This is
it's
crazy.
a tribute. It's a tribute.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the show today. I want to thank you so very kindly on this beautiful Friday. You got the weekend ahead of you. Please, let's make it a sober weekend. When I say it's sober, I mean vigilant, with a very clear understanding of where we are. Watch where you're going, so forth and so on. Look around you. I hate to say watch your back, but be decent. I'm watching people go to parties, watching people do these things, and they don't make it to Monday.
And tell them to
Come
register.
back Monday.
Tell them to register and prepare to vote. This one's going to be hot.
Let's do these things, guys. I want to thank you so very kindly for being able to join us today and joining the foundation as we continue to chop these things down and look forward, upward, onward, together for the fortification of this great new Bahamas that we all envision. It's a beautiful day, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Godspeed.
Excuse me for the interruption. Before you come, another quick reminder to say, this coming Friday, our police gonna roll the lawn. You went to the man number 1 town round town. And it's a Friday evening. Bim! The people them tired of working. Lord, them hear the disco playing. Bim! It make them feel like dancing. Ain't no summer say. Burrito will be greater with the disco operator. 5-double-18 and a 6-3-ter. This a DJ talk sweeter. See on them just up with the echo chamber. Watch your man. Play the play. I them on tear off the game. Them up and step it with them can't sit down and take. Oh Lord. Play 45, let's keep them alive. Play this comic, they want to jump and play. Oh, I'ma play LP. Say them really love me. They want to jump and spree. But this a dance and a free. And it's a Friday evening. Bim! The people them tired of working.